SPIN is the tool for submitting the protein sequence determined at the protein level to the UniProt. In the UniProt database or in the protein sequence database, 90% of the sequences were extracted from the other sequencing database, and only 10% of the sequence were directly submitted to the UniProt. Okay, so the protein sequence at a protein level can be submitted directly to the UniProt by using the tool called SPIN. Okay, SPIN is the tool for submitting protein sequence determined at protein level to the UniProt. See, the Universal Protein Resources, that is UniProt, is a comprehensive resources for the protein sequence and functional data. While most of the protein sequences entering UniProt are imported from the other source database containing nucleotide or the 3D structure data, the protein sequence determined at protein level can also be submitted directly to the UniProt. To this end, UniProt provide a web interface called SPIN. This service enables users to make their de novo sequence protein available to the scientific community and acquire the UniProt accession number for the use in publication. तो इसका मतलब क्या हुआ, जैसे कि मैंने अभी आपको बताया कि जो प्रोटीन सीक्वेंस डेटाबेस है UniProt इज अ मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट वन. तो 90% ऑफ द प्रोटीन सीक्वेंसेस जो होते हैं UniProt डेटाबेस में, वो कहाँ से लिए गए हैं? वो दूसरे सीक्वेंसिंग डेटाबेस से, जैसे कि आपका न्यूक्लियोटाइड डेटाबेस हो गया, PDB स्ट्रक्चरल डेटाबेस हो गया, असेंबल डेटाबेस है, जीनसेक डेटाबेस है. ये सारे सीक्वेंसिंग डेटाबेस से जो CDS पार्ट है वो कन्वर्ट होता है, ट्रांसलेट होता है प्रोटीन सीक्वेंस में, and after translation it will move to the translated EMBL, and from the translated EMBL after the manual annotation the sequence move to the Swiss prot. Okay, और 10% of the protein sequence जो है, कुछ प्रोटीन्स जो है अपन लैब में आइसोलेट करते हैं, उसको डायरेक्ट सीक्वेंसिंग करते हैं, ठीक है, वो सीक्वेंस को सबमिट करने के लिए जो हमको टूल लगेगा उसको बोलते हैं स्पिन. जैसा कि हमने न्यूक्लियोटाइड डेटाबेस में हमने पढ़ा था, बैंकिट हमने पढ़ा था फॉर द सबमिशन ऑफ द न्यूक्लियोटाइड डेटाबेस, है ना, बेबिन पढ़ा था EMBL डेटाबेस में सबमिट करने के लिए. वैसे स्पिन जो है, इट इज वन ऑफ द टूल for the direct submission of the protein sequenced at protein level. Okay. SPIN is hosted at European Bioinformatics Institute and can be accessed through this URL. So what are the minimum information required for the submission? First is the protein name, sequencing method, amino acid sequence, species of origin, and citation means bibliographic information. This all information is required for this before you go for the submission of your sequence through SPIN. Coming to the steps, the very first step for submitting your protein sequence through SPIN is to create an account to use the SPIN. Okay, this is the SPIN login page. If you are already an existing user, you can sign in here, and if you are the new user, then you have to create the account by clicking on creating an account. On clicking that, it will open up this page. Here you have to fill up all the information and click submit. Then after this is the SPIN start page. After signing in this page you can see the submission in progress. If you have some incomplete submission, unfinished submission, it will show you the here, and if you want to go for the new submission you can continue also. And if you want to go for the new submission, then create a new submission. Click on creating a new submission. Next step is to provide the protein name and sequencing method. In the protein name, here you have to type or paste the protein name you have sequenced, and here you have to select the method which you have used to determine the amino acid sequence. There is a drop down menu which lists up the method used for sequencing the protein. Here you have to select the method you have used to determine the amino acid sequence. The next step is to provide the protein sequence and residue specific annotation. Here you have to specify whether you are submitting the complete sequence or the fragment of sequence. Here you have to paste your sequence, and here you have to give the sequence annotation. What all annotation you know about your sequence, you have to type here. Okay. You can also add more annotation. The next step is to specify the residue specific annotation. What all the post translation modification, location, evidence. What is the evidence of your protein? And comment. Then here you have to paste your sequence. Then click the save button. Next step is provide the species of origin of the submitted protein sequence. Here you have to give the name of the species from where you have isolated that protein. Then the scientific name, common name, taxonomic ID, strain, tissue, all this you have to fill up. Then next step is to provide the citation. Here you have to select whether your paper is published, unpublished, or in press. Accordingly, the text form will change according to the selection of the status. Okay, you have to click unpublished when you are planning or preparing for the manuscript, or when your manuscript is being submitted to the journal, or when you are not decided to prepare a paper. In this condition, you have to click on unpublished. If it is in press, then you have to select in press, and if it is published, then you have to click published. Okay. अगर आपका unpublished है तो you have to give only the author name and the title. If it is in press, then there is one more icon will be there where you have to write the journal name. And if it is published, then you know the volume number, page number, year. So all that you have to uh, all that information you have to provide here. Then click the save button. This step is optional. You can give the additional information what all you know about your protein. Okay, protein properties like mass spectrometry if you have done. Okay, then the molecular weight, if you know the molecular weight of your protein, function, tissue specificity, similarity, is this protein an enzyme, and the additional property, what all property you know, you can give here. Then this is the last step, the save and the finish your submission step. Here you have to specify your preference regarding the confidentiality of the submitted sequence, whether you want to publish the data without any further notice, you have to keep it confidential until publication, or you have to hold until, here you can specify the hold date. Okay, then here is one more box there where you can give your any final remark. If you want to give, then click on the submit button. Once you click on the submit button, all the information gets submitted to the UniProt and go to the UniProt curator. And if you click on finish letter, it will save all the data without finishing. Okay. See, send the submission to the UniProt curator by clicking submit at the bottom of the web page. If you would rather save the submission and come back to it later, click the finish letter. If you want to save all the information but you have to submit it on letter, then you can click on finish letter. Okay, wait for the UniProt curator to contact you with any question they might have. If they have no question, the submission is valid. The spin will send you the UniProt accession number once your submission has been processed by the curator. Okay. So this is how you can submit your protein sequence to the UniProt using SPIN.